It was a typical sunny afternoon in the heart of the African jungle. Dense trees swayed gently in the wind, and the distant hum of wildlife echoed in the air. However, in one remote part of the jungle, a terrifying and unseen danger lurked, threatening the life of one of the most magnificent creatures to ever roam the earth, a gorilla. This isn't just a story about the majesty of the jungle or the power of these incredible creatures. No, this is a story of desperation, survival, and an unexpected rescue that will stay with you forever. A story of a gorilla who became trapped in a deadly web of parasites, a brave rescue team, and the incredible bond between humans and wildlife. It began with a routine wildlife survey. A group of researchers, as part of a conservation initiative, were observing the gorilla troops deep within the jungle. The dense undergrowth had made it difficult to spot the gorillas from afar, and their movements were often a challenge to track. But today, something was different. The research team noticed an unusual behavior. One of the dominant male gorillas, a huge silverback named Kazi, had been acting strangely. He was lethargic, his usually powerful movements now slow and laborious. Something was wrong. The team quickly realized that the once strong and proud leader of the troop was in grave danger. When they approached closer, they discovered the horrifying truth. Kazi was covered in what appeared to be a dense cluster of parasites, tiny, parasitic insects, clinging to his fur, burrowing into his skin, and causing him to weaken. The team had never seen anything like it before. The researchers, in shock and disbelief, knew that they were not equipped to deal with such an infestation. This was beyond their expertise. They needed immediate help, and fast. Without wasting any time, they contacted a special rescue team known for handling extreme wildlife emergencies, the Jungle Rescue Force. Comprised of experts in wildlife medicine, veterinary professionals, and dedicated conservationists, the team was prepared for any crisis. But no one could have prepared for what they were about to face. As the team set out on their journey, the atmosphere became tense. The journey to Kazi's location was grueling. The terrain was rough, and the clock was ticking. They couldn't afford to waste any time, every minute mattered. Upon reaching Kazi, the team was faced with a heartbreaking sight. The silverback was too weak to move, his body covered in parasites so dense that his fur appeared to be a patchwork of black and brown, almost unrecognizable. His breathing was labored, and his once sharp eyes were now dull with exhaustion. The team knew that they had no choice but to act quickly. They carefully approached Kazi, taking great care to avoid startling him further. The lead veterinarian, Dr. Claire Bennett, and her team began to assess the situation. They identified that Kazi was suffering from a severe parasitic infestation, which had attacked his skin, causing infections, and further weakening him. The parasites were sapping away at his energy, and the gorilla was close to losing the battle for survival. In a coordinated effort, the rescue team began their meticulous work. They applied special anti-parasitic treatments to the gorilla's body to neutralize the infestation. Every inch of Kazi's fur was carefully examined, and the parasites were removed one by one. The team worked tirelessly, knowing that they were Kazi's only hope. Time was of the essence. The parasitic infection had reached a critical stage, and Kazi's chances of survival were growing slimmer with every passing hour. The team kept working, applying medicinal balms and carefully tending to the injured areas of his skin. But even as they worked, the enormity of the situation weighed heavily on them. In a quiet moment, Dr. Bennett leaned in close to Kazi, softly speaking to him. "You're going to make it, Kazi. We've got you. Just hold on." Hours passed, and the jungle air grew thick with anticipation. As nightfall descended upon them, the team finally managed to remove the last of the parasites. They cautiously checked Kazi's vital signs. His heart rate was steady, his breathing had become less labored. A small, but hopeful sign that he was beginning to stabilize. The real battle, however, was just beginning. Kazi had survived the worst of the parasite infestation, but the road to recovery was far from over. The team set up a temporary camp near the gorilla's resting spot, with armed guards to ensure that no predators would approach. The next few days were spent in a continuous cycle of care. Kazi was fed nutrient-rich food, given fluids to rehydrate, and monitored closely by Dr. Bennett and her team. Slowly, he began to show signs of improvement. His energy returned in small bursts, and his wounds began to heal. As the days went on, Kazi's condition improved dramatically. The team was astonished at how resilient he was. It seemed that his spirit was just as strong as his body. He began to move again, albeit slowly, and interacted with his troop, who had been keeping their distance but were clearly watching over their leader. After a week of intensive care, Kazi was finally strong enough to leave the recovery area and rejoin his troop. The team stood at a distance, watching as the mighty silverback made his way back into the jungle, where his family waited. The researchers and the rescue team felt a deep sense of satisfaction and relief. Kazi, now parasite-free and recovering, led his troop once again. The jungle had never looked more alive as the sounds of the gorillas echoed through the trees. The rescue of Kazi was not just a triumph for the silverback himself but a testament to the incredible work of the rescue team. It showed that, despite the dangers and the challenges faced by wildlife in the modern world, there are people who are willing to fight for the survival of these creatures. The rescue mission was a success, but it also served as a powerful reminder. The natural world is fragile, and it is our responsibility to protect it. Kazi's story is one of survival, but it's also a call to action for all of us to step up and ensure that our planet's wildlife thrives. Kazi's journey was a reminder that even in the most dire of circumstances, with the right people and determination, the impossible can be made possible. And as the sun set on the jungle, the team knew that they had just helped save a life, one that would continue to thrive, thanks to their unwavering dedication.